My name is Noe Valdovinos, and I am originally from the Tri-Cities area, eastern part of the Washington state. And I have been at the Foster School for about 5 years now. I started at the Foster School with advising business students, undergraduate business students. And when this role came up, I decided that this was a perfect role for me to go into and continue the diversity type of work that I'm passionate about, especially when it comes to recruiting underrepresented minorities. So my current title now at the Foster MBA office is Associate Director for Diversity Recruitment. The Associate Director for Diversity Recruitment is focused more within the full-time and the evening MBA program. And this role was really created to support the mission and the vision of the Foster School to increase diversity within our programs. This was important to lead some of our diversity partnerships, such as Forte, Consortium, MLT, Ramba, and Access, which is our newest diversity partnership. And through this role, I'm able to maintain liaison and partnerships with diverse organizations that are external to UW, as well as internally here at UW, and maximize the growth that we want to see within diversity and the underrepresentation of students of color here at the Foster School. Within our diversity partnerships, the 5 that I mentioned, which is Consortium, Ramba, Access, MLT, and Forte, what we do, or my role in that liaisonship, is that I advise the team on what is coming up, recruitment events that would be worth being at, what new processes are changing, what should we consider when we are looking at specific pool of applicants. So I participate in summer seminars within MLT to meet prospective applicants who are URM, who are looking at an MBA school. We also do Forte virtual forums, both in person and online, to increase access for women in business. And we have 2 Forte ambassadors, which I supervise, and they also help in connecting with prospective students to offer that student experience side of things at the Foster School. With Consortium, we also do the Consortium MAPS events, and they're all focused on recruiting all across the states. So these are ways that where my liaisonship plays a huge factor into keeping these partnerships intact, so that we are putting the Foster School of Business in the forefront of URM candidates, not only in Washington State, but across the nation. At the Foster School, diversity has been a component of what we do, from the undergraduate level to the graduate level. And what we say at Foster is that diversity is everybody's work. So this was just an addition to what we were already doing, and in response to the need for one to increase the representation within the business school. It's not something new that started within my role. Even when I started within undergraduate advising, diversity, equity, and inclusion were always at the point of conversations when we had group meetings or town halls within the Foster School. So not necessarily a new initiative, but something that just has continued to foster the direction that we want to within the diversity at the Foster School that we say that we want and we aim for. Although I don't consider myself an expert on the Coast Salish peoples. The Coast Salish refers to a language of a dozen languages, and it's composed of many dialects. So at the UW and in the surrounding areas, we do like to honor those who live in the lands in which we study and work as well. And at the University of Washington, we acknowledge the Coast Salish people. This also includes tribes such as the Squamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. And Foster does look at every decision that we make with an equity lens, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and acknowledging the Coast Salish peoples and First Nations. This is how we strive to be better together, which is one of the Foster mottos: better together, better tomorrow. And being inclusive and acknowledging of the Coast Salish peoples of this land, it's a way that we honor that respect. When we think about underrepresented and minorities, at the UW, we consider 5 ethnic minority groups, and that's Black, Latino, Southeast Asian, Native American, and Hawaiian Pacific Islander. In addition, what we also consider underrepresented is women, members of the LGBTQIA plus community, as well as veteran students, because we do see a decrease in these numbers, and that's what we see as an underrepresented and minority class status within students. Our current diversity profile is 15% historically underrepresented students of color. It's 40% overall students of color, which is actually an increase from last year's incoming class. And women were at 42%. That's also a 2% increase from last year's incoming class. And in terms of veteran, we're at 9%. So every year we strive to increase our numbers in these areas that we consider as an underrepresented minority within the demographics that I previously mentioned. And we have done well so far. We could always do better. That's always, the goal, right? We try to do as best as we can, but we could always do better. And the increases that we've seen slightly year after year, I think it's an attestation to the work that we're doing to continue doing that work year after year, and in partnership with our diversity organizations, local organizations, for-profit and non-profit organizations that also focus on the same goal, which is to increase the underrepresented demographics in business education. Last month, we had our Women's Brunch, and this is an event that's focused on increasing access and visibility of women in business. And we had about 25 attendees, which is fairly good to coming back to in person and seeing the representation of our students and the need for an MBA level education. Correct. Through our events that I mentioned previously, such as Women's Brunch and Fostering MBA Access, we also reach out to alumni who have participated in these type of events in the past, who want to come back and continue to give back. Our program is a small and collaborative, very tight-knit community. And even throughout the journey of the MBA, students are always willing to contribute and give back and pay it forward. And that's the mentality that goes on with them even after they leave the program. We have very engaged alumni that gladly volunteer to come back and meet with our current and prospective students to continue that giving back. At the Foster School, we evaluate all candidates holistically. However, because diversity, equity, and inclusion is an aspect that we do want to make an effort in every decision that we make, we do consider the equity lens when we are reviewing applicants. So part of that holistic review process is considering all applicants through an equity lens to make the best decision for all of our applicants. This role is important to me because it also aligns with my values of increasing the quality of life, and that comes through an education. I'm a firm believer that education helps in bettering people's lives, and also the more educated one person is, also can help to make changes in the way that we want to see change happen. And one aspect of that is through business school. This is where you get to make life-changing decisions and also create access and equity in the decisions that you make once you go into the real world. I identify as a first generation and grew up low income as well, and I see the need of a program and a position like this that can also offer the doors to those who may not know what they don't know, which generally tends to be those who are underrepresented, people of color, and those who have been historically marginalized. So I have a deep sense of personal responsibility to this role and to my passion within education. And I feel that this role is perfect to align with my goal and mission to accomplish what we want here at the Foster School for a better humanity and a better tomorrow.